Greetings, everyone. I'm Catherine of Sky, and I hope to make your day refreshingly Swedish. So I feel like I've been long overdue in making this video for you. I know a lot of people asked me about how it was to get out of the hospital and what that was like. To be honest, when I got out after the surgery, I had stayed for was it a day or two? And I was in such incredible pain that when I got back, I was just toast. So I hope you'll forgive me in my tardiness. But I would like to tell you about what it was like, because I know a lot of people were keenly following my story. And I'm going to have another video talking about why the other reasons I haven't made content in quite a while. Anyway, so let's start with we had this surgery and I have this lovely scar on my neck. I was not happy that I have so much numbness, like the entirety of under my chin is numb, like all of my neck above the scar is numb, all of it. And I know a lot of people, oh yeah, you'll get sensation back. And I'm like, not likely. The doctors told me it was not likely. So yeah, I'm not happy about that at all. Especially since, I asked them and they're like, oh, well, that's not even considered a complication because it's known via anatomy. And I'm like, I don't have doctor's level anatomy knowledge. Anyway, so one thing that happened to me was after the surgery, or even during the surgery, because they were, shoving around the nerves and stuff inside my neck. One of the big nerves is called the vagus nerve, and it's a nerve bundle that is massive and kind of runs right through your body. And for whatever reason, the way they touched it or moved it around, it caused me incredible tooth pain. Anyone who's ever had bad tooth pain, yeah, this is like that, times 1,000. I was like, oh my God, do I need to get my tooth pulled? It hurts so bad. But coming into the surgery, I had no dental problems. I don't have any issues, no cavities, nothing like that. So I knew it had to be caused by the surgery. Not only that, but like during the surgery, I was awake the entire time and I could feel pain right there in those teeth. It was two particular teeth, one on the top and one on the bottom, that seemed to be linked in this pain state. Sometimes the bottom one would hurt, sometimes the top one would hurt. It was really weird. And it felt strange that there was no other cause, like it wasn't a cavity or I didn't just have a root canal. I don't think they did that. No, they didn't. But it's weird. And so as I got out of the hospital, they gave me a prescription for strong pain medication, which was opioids, which, doctors are very strict in controlling those because of the risk of addiction. And I definitely agree with that philosophy. However, the problem was that when I went to try to get this medication, none of the places had it. And I didn't know why at first. Until I went to one of my local pharmacies, and there's a pharmacist I've known for quite a while, and he explained it to me like, oh, well, we have the medication, but it doesn't come in this many pills per box. And I'm like, well, can you just give me half the box? No, it's very strict, has to be controlled, and this and this and that. And in Scandinavia, we do pills in boxes. We do not do pills. We don't do pills where they measure it out every single time. That is not a thing. So basically, there's no miscounting of medication. There's no wrong medication. It's very clearly labeled on the box. You know exactly what pills you're getting. It reduces a lot of pharmacological errors that sometimes happen in drugstores in the US, and also reduces the workload on the pharmacists a lot. I mean, all the American pharmacists are standing there counting pills all day, where here they just give you a box. It's no problem. They don't have to count the medicines. They don't have to store the medicines in these crazy bag systems that they have in the US. It's kind of a madhouse in the US, and I don't know why they don't do it the way the Scandinavians do. But anyway, so that ended up being the problem. And I had called my doctor and I said, can you please prescribe something else? And he's like, well, no, you should be, the pain should be going down. And it's like been 2 days. And I said, it's still horrible. I have this really severe pain in my tooth. Well, it should be going down. So why don't you take some Tylenol, or paracetamol, as we call it here? And I'm like, oh God. So anyway, the next day I went and I still had this horrible tooth pain. And I told my pharmacist, I said, pharmacist, can you please ask the doctor to just change it to something else? I don't care what it is, as long as it's, I don't have to have because the one he prescribed me was super, super, super strong. And I'm thinking, as long as it's stronger than paracetamol, Tylenol isn't even touching this pain. It's not even thinking about this pain. So, the pharmacist talked to the doctor and they prescribed some different pills, which was great. But one thing I don't really understand is the whole preventing addiction thing. The patient has to actually try the pills before they get addicted. And I think, from my perspective, it's if the patient asks for too many pills, if the pain situation goes on longer than the initial prescription, then either one, you don't give them the pills, or two, you need to investigate what's wrong, because maybe something got damaged and that's what's also causing the patient pain. So there are a couple of ways to address the addiction issue. As it turned out, I got the stronger pain meds. I was in pain for about 8 days after the surgery, when the doctor thought I should be in pain after only 2 days. So, for me, it's, when you have that intense pain, you can't even think of anything else. It's just pain, 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 especially with tooth pain. It just assails your head. And so, when you're done hurting, you stop taking the pain pills, and I still have a half a box left. I mean, I don't take pills that I don't need, or I don't, want, whatever. And as a lifelong Viking, I don't take pills to reduce the pain to zero. I'm okay having a moderate level of pain. I mean, I'm in pain all the time with my migraines, so I'm quite used to pain. But when it's absolutely unbearable, I think it's very reasonable for a doctor to prescribe pain pills and to ask for some pain medication in those cases. So anyway, I'm good on the tooth pain front, thankfully. But yeah, it took quite a while to finish that. Oh, I forgot to mention one thing. After one, I think it was the day after the surgery or the next day. I can't even remember. It was the night before I was getting discharged, and I had this horribly high blood pressure. And the nurse and doctors gave me 3 different medications, and it still didn't go down. It was crazy high. And I asked the doctor, I said, am I going to need to stay another day? Because I don't know what's going on with this blood pressure thing. And he's like, actually, when you go home, it'll be better. You'll be more relaxed. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I hope I don't have some stroke at home with this high blood pressure thing. But it turned out to be just fine. What they do here, I know a lot of Americans have written to me where they get out of a hospital and then they have to pay for taxi ride home or some expensive transportation because, maybe they got to that place via ambulance. And what they do here in Sweden is they contract with the taxi service and they pay for the taxi. So for me, it would have been quite an expensive taxi ride, about 1,000 crowns or over $100, something like that. To get back to my apartment, because remember I was in Solna, which is north of Stockholm. And so that's, 30-40 minutes away. So that's a really nice service that they provide for people. So you don't have to break the bank. And yeah. So anyway, I got back to my apartment and there were so many things to take care of. I just could not deal with making a video. First of all, my leg is still partially paralyzed, so it's an effort to get anywhere. I also had this exhaustion thing where doing one activity is enough to trash me for the rest of the day. So I can choose to take a shower. That's a big activity. Or I can choose to go for a walk, but not both. And my doctor said that I really should go on these daily walks to get my legs stronger and things like that. So I've been trying to do that kind of exercise. And if I haven't been able to go out, because you got to wash yourself sometimes, I'll do exercises in the apartment, like leg lifts and things like this to help with stuff like that. But man, the exhaustion has been real. It's been pretty awful. I'll also let you know that the day after I got out of the hospital, or was it the day of? I think it was the day after, Matthias came back. And we, we chilled together, and it was great. And he was just very caring and brought me food and stuff. It was fantastic. He's such a great guy. And, so anyway, so that was good. Also, I promised you I would show you my bills for the hospital. All right. So I'm going to put these on screen right now. And you can see what I've got here. I've blurred out my name and address and other numbers that I don't want to be public. But you can see how much it costs. Keep in mind that crowns, to get the US dollar, you divide it by 10. So you move the decimal place to the left one. So I'll go in order. All right. So I think I might actually be missing one of the bills because I don't see the one for my stay at the local hospital here. But the first bill I'm going to show you is Södertälje sjukhus, which means Södertälje Hospital. And that is to go to the ER. And I saw a doctor there, and it costs 400 crowns, which is about $40 US. So next one, going to Karolinska to see the specialists, the ones that they were kind of figuring out whether I should do the surgery and not. I went up there, and that one costs 275 crowns, which is $27.50 approximately. Note that they also shipped me up there via taxi twice, up and down. So they don't charge you for that at all. All right. And then the next thing is we have the bill for being at Karolinska for 3 days, which costs me 390 crowns, which is $39. And during that time, I had very, very nice food. The food at Karolinska was fantastic. But anyway, yeah, definitely doesn't break the bank. And some of these items, I think the consultation with the surgeons, the bill for 275 crowns will go onto my Frikort, which I think it's 1,860 or something to qualify for a Frikort. That's like $180 you need to spend before everything else is free. So I think that 275 goes toward that. So yeah, good prices because we pay with our taxes. It's a very, very good system that we have here. And in reality, the American system isn't that far off because everybody pays to insurance anyway, right? Because it's against the law not to have insurance. That's a thing in America. So anyway, but yeah, I just wanted to be, upfront and show you the actual bills I have gotten. All I have blurred out is literally my personal information. And yeah, so you can see those and the bank details, of course, that sort of thing. But yeah, I just paid those the other day. I should have gotten the other bill from the local hospital. It should be, I don't know how much it is. I think it's like $14 a day or something to stay in the hospital. It's quite cheap. And that kind of like covers food and laundry costs and all that kind of stuff. So if I get the bill for that, I'll let you know. Otherwise, so that was my kind of return back from the hospital. And the cats are just fine. They came through everything good. They were missing me like crazy, as you can imagine. But yeah, it's a lot better healing here rather than out in a weird place where, yeah. But overall, the hospital stays were good. People were very professional. They were very nice and professional. And I feel like I got treated like with world-class care. No joke. It's good. And of course, Karolinska, I believe, is the number 8 hospital in the entire world. I think there's 145,000 hospitals in the world. So number 8 is pretty damn good. And just to let you know, all Swedes, actually anybody in the European Union is entitled to the best medical care because we care about each other. So I didn't have to pay millions of dollars to go to this fancy hospital. And I think I told you before, like in the US, my mom, they recommended her have the same surgery and they had a 10% death rate because the local dude was going to do it. And it's like, Oh, that's bad. And we elected not to for her. But here they had a 0% death rate because they do so many checks. Like they were checking to see if I was, could say my own name, if I was losing cohesion mentally, if there was not enough oxygen to my brain, then they would like immediately restore blood flow. So they're very careful here, and they told me it's a very, very delicate operation. So, fantastic, professional, good stuff, and it just comes out of my taxes. So I am happy to be living in a country where we care for each other like that. It's important to have that sense of community and care about each other. I think that's one thing that a lot of people in the U.S. are lacking. Probably 99% of the people in the U.S. are lacking. So I'm hoping that everybody bands together and figures out a better way to do things. Anyway, that's all I have for this video. Do check out my next video about my recording schedule and stuff and things and what's gone on since I've been back. I met with my therapist, for example, so there's lots of little niblets in that new video. So anyway, thank you so very much for joining me. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll see you next time.